Welcome to the UIUC Talkshow. Our goal of this show is to introduce you to the most interesting people and the most interesting ideas from the UIUC campus. From professors to students to really anyone interesting that is around you, but you forgot to talk or find that person. Today, we have a very special guest. His name is Kareem, and he will talk to us about his story, really interesting things about how he's perceived as an engineering student and his involvement with the Illini solar car team. Welcome. Hey, Kareem. How's it going, man?
I'm good.
So for people who don't know you, tell us more about you.
Yeah, so my name is Kareem Habayeb. My family's from Palestinian Jordanian, but I was born in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a mechanical engineering student here at UIUC. I'm also a computer science minor. Though I do have put a lot of importance in my academics. I make sure to enjoy the little things in life, such as just spending time with my friends. Make sure I keep connected with my family back home, and just trying to take in the college experience.
Awesome. I always like to start on that point because I think a lot of people are actually, a lot of like engineering students, a lot of them are misperceived, or perhaps they're misperceived by themselves. Here's what I mean by that. A lot of people think they are, always academics and that's all they do. But in reality, something that I found is that they actually think of themselves that they do a lot more things. And before the show, we were actually talking about what's something that you know about yourself that people misperceive about you. And you told me it was that as an engineering student, you're basically seen as a bookworm, but in reality, you do a lot more things. Tell us more about why you think, how you can actually change that perception and why you think that perception is important to you.
Yeah, definitely. So I think this topic came up in the career fair last week, where you're in a large hall with hundreds of other engineers, and you try to think to yourself what distinguishes you from the others. And you just know everybody there will have their own story and their own strengths that they can try to sell. And I personally, obviously wish them the best of luck. But obviously, you're trying to find or try to stake your claim at a position, and you try to think, well, what else did I do other than maybe good grades this semester, or do a lot of involvement with the engineering RSOs and the such. And what I like to say is that, from your experiences, just think about not just the engineering side, think about the people side. For instance, I'm involved in research, and I could just say that I designed a weather system using electric components, and I designed enclosures. I could just stop it there, but it actually goes much deeper than that. We had to talk to farmers, understand their needs. We are conducting studies in their fields. So what are their limitations? What can we or can we not do? And then talking to the head of the research about what they want from their weather system, because they're agricultural people, so they might not have the capability of doing what I could do for them. So it's trying to understand what their needs are and so I realized, wow, so I've done a lot of communication with clients or I could spin it as customer service or clients and whatnot. So I think that's important for other people to realize about engineers, and engineers to realize about themselves, is that their work, don't take it to face value. Look deeper into what you actually did. Maybe there's something you did that surprised you. Like I do not talk a lot. I'm known as a very quiet person, but through my experience, I actually had to communicate with a lot of people. Like, hey, I did this. How does this work? Do you think this is good? How can we move forward? What can I do to help you achieve this goal? And I think just reflecting upon uh, your experience, you realize that I don't uh, I don't need to go out and have another experience to gain the skill. Maybe I already did have it, and I just need to realize it. Yeah.
And I think that question of how do you see yourself in a way that because I do think, and also for a little bit of background, we actually had a career fair last week, an engineering career fair where like 500 people went and a bunch of interviewers. And what Kareem was saying is that you really have to find your unique thing when you're trying to find a job or interview. And a couple of weeks ago, many years ago, I actually read this thing that a lot of companies actually, sometimes they don't hire the smartest people or, quote unquote smartest people, or they don't hire people with with the best grades or anything. What they're trying to find are two things. Is, would this person be cool to work with? Meaning, are you a fun person? Like, can you talk? Can you work with others? And the other thing they're looking for is that obviously, if you have some experience and everything like that. But being self-aware enough to see, how am I unique? Because I can guarantee you, every one of us is super, super unique. It is just so hard when we're always with people that are kind of similar to us and we're trying to always be like them. So I think a way that we can always be unique is sort of like asking yourself that question. And I think to me, you're a very unique person in that sense because you have that self-awareness to sort of ask yourself, hey, can I, how am I different? Because again, with the career fair, a lot of people are like, oh my God, what should I have? Or what do you think I should have? And you were asking a different question, which was, what do I already have that is unique that other people don't have? So let's ask you that question. What are some things that uniquely define your perspective and things that you do?
All right. Well, what I was telling people in the career fair, for example, is that I'm a very well-rounded person in terms of my engineering side. So although I'm a mechanical engineer, I've done a lot of electrical engineering and design work, both in my hobby with Arduino and such, but also in research and actually applying it. And then I do a lot of things from manufacturing here at the Siebel Center to sustainable technology and development at the Solar Car team. So that's something to think about, where I am not just a mechanical engineer. I can actually, I understand a wide range of topics and I know how to apply them. And that's very important going into just knowing your strengths, because you'd really like to, you don't want to, sorry, I'm blanking here. You don't want to just go in and say, this is exactly what I want to do. I'm actually very well aware that I really don't know what I want to do in the future. So that's why I came in with the mindset of, hey, I don't exactly know what I want to do, but I have had all these experiences to help me shape it. And I'm here, and I tell the recruiter, now I'm here talking to you because I believe an experience at your company would really help me figure out what I'd like to do also. And then aside from the engineering, you start to look into the more human aspects. With Solar Car, obviously, you have to collaborate with a lot of people. And Solar Car right now is a very big organization, and in any big organization, it doesn't matter who it is, sometimes you might have friction with someone else in terms of design and stuff. And it's that is very totally normal and happens every day. But what would make you, well, or at least what makes me stand out, is that I know how to approach someone if I have disagreements on them, and how to implement something, or whatever the case may be. Communicating with customers, understanding their needs. As I talked with the farmers and whatnot, also at the Siebel Center, if someone comes in, I have this project I'd like to create. We just want to, so we talk to them, we engage with them, we understand what their limits are, what experience they have, and try to tailor an experience for them to help build your needs. And even beyond that, then I started to express just I'd really like to coming from the leaving the my past experience now, I think to myself, okay, what from this past experience, how can I build on that? That's also an important factor, and not just with engineering. You talk to yourself, okay, well, one way to approach this is to think about your weaknesses now, and be like, okay, I do not know how to communicate well enough, or I haven't presented a report to a board of people that will make a big decision. I'd like to have that experience, or anything like that. That's what it'll help you guide yourself to what you would want to do, and then it'll tell an employer that, hey, they have these strengths, but they also have these weaknesses, and they've expressed interest in trying to build on it or work on it. And I think that it'll show development, which I think they like, because they understand people. I think people get nervous going to career fairs because they expect that the recruiters expect perfection and a glowing resume. But when they know that we're just students, and we can study all we want, we still don't know a lot, and that's what we're here for. Just being honest, and would tell them that I know this, but I'd really like to build on that. I don't. I've done some manufacturing, but I'd like to try to apply that into a larger scale. And yeah, just keep asking yourself questions. Just where am I right now? What experience did I have? How does it apply for both engineering, but also life skills in general? And what are my goals, both, again, engineering, but also how do I want to grow up as a person, because we are still growing up. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, we have a lot more to grow. Pretty young. And I love that. And that not only applies to career fairs, finding jobs, but also applies to things like dating, for example. Mm-hmm. Let's say you're dating someone, and you try to make this frown and oh, I'm perfect, or oh, I don't do this, or I do this. Mm-hmm. The thing is, sure, you think this person's gonna like you more, or whatever, or this company, this recruiter's gonna like you more because you're so perfect. But let's say you actually end up dating, or you actually end up with this company. At some point, you're gonna get tired, and you're gonna be quote unquote found out. Mm-hmm. So to do that and to avoid that, you might as well be yourself. And if people like you, great. If people don't like you, great too. But being having that willingness to be yourself, and to say, hey, I'm not perfect. I don't know X, Y, and Z, but here's what I know, and here's how, if I have to learn it, I could learn it. Mm-hmm. So that's something that I such a unique skill to say, oh, do you know about this? And you say, I don't know, but I could tell you how I would think about it. Something I do want to ask you about is more about your family background and how that has shaped your perspective as an engineering student and as a future citizen of this world. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the I guess the first question would be, what's something, or what are some things people should know, or that people misunderstand, or that people should know more about the specific country that you're from, that your family is from?
All right. Well, Jordan and Palestine will tackle. They're almost similar, but I mean, the one that stands out would be the Palestinian side, and obviously, we do come from a family where my grandfather and his family had to leave, and they understand struggle and hardships, and so what but more importantly, what came from that is they really took care about, or they really cared about how they want to push their children and make sure that they don't suffer like they did. So and for my family, it actually came out as education. My grandfather was a principal, and that pushed on my mom to. She was a really hard academic, grade in school, and then my dad, maybe not um, the straight A student, but he was also sent here to study, just so that he can gain as much experience as he can and grow as a person, which he really did. And then came for my turn. My family did not spare any expense in terms of my education. That always came first. If anything interfered with it, it was it they did not like that at all. If whatever it would be, small things from video games, but all the way to like more serious things about
Right.
maybe I'm having a difficult relationship with someone and it's just interfering with what's actually important. Um, so yeah, and that's why I'm here. Is because they know this is a great place, and they know I'd really like to push myself, and so that's why I'm here. And I'm here not just to learn, but also gain experiences. Because I could have we don't live in Jordan or Palestine. We live in Dubai, and I could have stayed there, but they really wanted. I really wanted to, but they also really wanted me to come out here and be on my own, just so that I can just grow more quickly as a person, experience new things, and yeah, that was very important to them. They placed a lot of emphasis on education in general. That was very important to them.
Yeah, education, especially for a lot of immigrants, families, a way to rise. Like, for
Yeah.
example, like for me, my grandpa was an immigrant from Portugal to Venezuela, and then I was born in Venezuela, and I moved to the United States 6 years ago, 6 years ago, and to me that was really important. And like the first thing I sort of told myself was, I'm going to learn English as soon as possible so I could take AP classes and honors classes, because I don't know, I want to go to a good college, and I want to see like what's that's about, right? And especially when you're coming from a totally different country, you barely know the language. It's high school, and like how high school is like important for college and everything.
Yeah.
I really had the pressure to like do it, and education was really a way for me to not only learn a lot, but seeing how I can figure out what I want. But obviously, I don't even think I know. But like understanding that, hey, I don't know, but I can actually do that. So the other thing I wanted to talk more about is the Illini solar car. So of course, you are very involved with that, and I'm not going to ask you, oh, like what's the Illini solar car team? I think people can look that up. But something that you said is that you're a very hands-on person. You like to build and create things.
Mhm.
And I think with the Illini car, you probably have the opportunity to do that. But you could have gone to a different team or a different organization. Why the Illini solar car team, and how does being in the Illini solar car team align with, number one, what you want to do with your life, and number two, what you see yourself in the future?
Well, I wish I had a really elegant answer for why the Illini Solar Car team, but in actuality, it was Engineering 100, and we had to pick an RSO to go to. And every Formula, which I wanted to go to, had ended their info session. I was I had to find something. And back then, I was still in Dubai doing online, so there was a time difference, and I was still getting used to that. Solar car team was available, so I just jumped in. I needed something for my Engineering 100, but really why I stayed is what I can talk about, and it's just how dedicated the team was about their creation, the car, and just trying to make the best work that they possibly can, given, as a student organization, the limitations are monetary limitations, or whatever access to tools that we can gain, working around that, innovating around it, is really what got me drawn into it. And then what even solidified it even more for me is that I was placed in a team that got very close. The team has a really good camaraderie. Everybody knows that everybody else is dedicated to the team. And going back to the engineering versus human aspect, I did love the engineering, but I also really did like working with the people there. The people there, it's I personally do struggle with imposter syndrome. Yeah, I'd be in a room and I'd figure out, well, am I supposed to be here? But with the solar car team, if you don't know anything, just ask and people will help. And that's how you grow as a person. Just keep asking questions. Don't be afraid of what you don't know. Just keep asking to pushing yourself, and then soon enough you'll find out a new member is asking you questions, and you realize you've grown, and you can be happy with that. So that's what made me stay. Is first, a very good group of people around me during the team. Working in the team, knowing that they love this project as much as I do. And then this year, when I became a more senior member, helping out people, getting started with the team, helping them understand the car, helping them. I really do love helping people from solar car to SCD, where I have to train people. Passing out knowledge is something I find really important, and that's really why I really like the solar car team. They make it an environment so that we can people can try their best without being afraid to do something wrong. Yeah.
Having the opportunity to fail and to look quote unquote dumb, but really asking those questions is how you can learn, and how you can move forward. And the last question I will ask you is that, what is something that you will regret not doing in the time you're here? Because the reason why I ask the question is that a lot of people look back in their college years, right? And they're like, oh my God, I wish I did that, or I wish I had done something differently. And instead of asking you, like, what do you think you would regret, I'm going to ask you, what do you think you will not regret by the time you graduate?
What I will not regret. Let me think. I guess I won't regret. I won't regret any of the mistakes. The mistakes I've made, and they range a lot from. Like, for example, last semester I chose as a CS minor, I had to take this CS class that for me, it was very difficult because 173.
Oof, yes.
Yeah, because I've never done something like that,
Yeah,
and
very.
so it was kind of out of the. It was out of the. Yeah, it was totally different for me. It was a new experience, so I kept reminding myself that just stick it through, because I really did enjoy the content. I really, really enjoyed the class. It was just hard, but uh, just keeping in mind that by the end of this, whatever the grade is, it's okay um, because engineering is hard, and a C won't hurt you, or any other grade really. Just as long as you feel you've in, as long as you feel that you've learned and gained the knowledge necessary. I don't regret it because I did my best. I've gotten help when I needed to, so I did everything right. But it's just something that didn't. It wasn't a skill set that I had for that particular class. I did well, but maybe not well as I wanted. But I go away thinking it really is no big deal. I'm very proud of myself for even trying it. And we'll just move past it. And it goes along for every mistake. Sometimes you hit a mistake really hard. Like during the CS class, I was, when you're in the middle of a situation that you're not comfortable in, you're thinking, I need to get out of this. I need to find a way out. I wish this never happened. I wish this was a dream I'm going to wake up from soon. But there's this quote from a movie that I really like. It says that worrying only makes you suffer twice.
Say it again.
Worrying only makes you suffer twice.
Wow.
I really like that. I live by that. But there's also something my mom also used to be. My mom used to worry a lot about things.
Right.
She used to freak out. And I used to tell her, if there's a situation I'm in, if there's something I can do about it, then I don't need to worry. If there's nothing I can't do about it, then I still don't need to worry. And obviously I will get nervous and worried and scared, but at the end of the day, realizing that if you've tried your best, you should be happy with yourself.
Someone said once, I don't remember who said it, but it was something along the lines of, if you're worried, you should not be.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not worried, you should be. So it goes the same lines about worrying and everything. Because at the end, what are you going to remember? Like, are you really going to remember that scene 173 or whatever grade you got?
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't really. Like, you're probably going to remember, damn, that class was really hard, but you know what? I passed it, and I even got a CS job or whatever you got after you graduate. Well, Kareem, thank you so much for coming to the show. I really enjoy talking to you, and the wisdom that came through your words is really apparent, and I'm sure a lot of people will find themselves in what you said, and I really hope it helps them. All right, thank you so much for listening to our show. Kareem here is an example of someone who, it's okay with making mistakes. He's someone who knows that he doesn't know what he wants, but by understanding that he doesn't know, he's ready to see what he wants and how he can find that he wants. The most important thing that we learned from Kareem today was, if you're able to ask questions to not only learn, but also grow yourself as a person, you will literally achieve anything. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time in the next episode of UIUC Talkshow. Thank you.